Shalom, 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 shalom. First and foremost, giving infinite praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Ruchakudash, giving double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone and Shalom, and salutation to all you sincere Akim across the four winds, pushing us truth with sincerity of heart. I'm your fellow servant, Kasama God from mid-DC camp, coming at you through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Wachakudash, for the elect. Now, this is going to be a quick lesson in prophecy. That's basically something that happened recently. Just wanted to share that with the hopeful elect, the 144,000 in Israel, which really are the only souls that matter, the only souls that really care about about the breakdowns, about the prophecy, about the MOTB, the mark of the beast, which is the microchip. Like, everybody else is really just involved into some nonsense and drama and garbage, But it is what it is, right? At the end of the day, as prophets, we have to come out here and warn our true family what's going on. Now, this is out of New York Post, and it says Putin's helicopter came under fire from Ukrainian drones during Kurt's visit, Kremlin admits. So, this is something that happened and nobody's really talking about it like that, right? Because they talk about the peace treaty, which, as a matter of fact, you have Donald Trump was asked the other day about the fact that Russia started shooting missiles in Ukraine, although it was supposed to be a peace treaty. Well, as we've prophesied over the years, that you're not going to get peace treaties, you're not going to get long-term peace. You might have peace treaties, you might have the treaty on the table, but it doesn't mean that these nations are going to sign those treaties. And even if you happen to have a treaty on the table, it's only going to be temporary. And then when you have situations where Ukraine had an attempted assassination on Putin, well, guess what? That's going to make him not want to sign that deal, all right? And why is that? The reason why it's like that is because the Spirit of the Lord is not going to allow these nations to come and be at peace with each other, all right? The Spirit of the Lord is bringing confusion and is stirring up the nations to fight against each other. So every time they were really just close to this peace treaty, and then Ukraine attempts, while Ukraine is talking about, let's sit down and sign the paper, Ukraine attempts to assassinate Putin. So he probably went on KGB mode, right, and shot missiles, and now he ain't really trying to talk. All right, and this is really powerful to see that. It says Russian President Vladimir Putin's helicopter came under fire from Ukrainian drones during his visit to the contested Kursk region last week. All right, it says the Kremlin has admitted. Yuri Dashkin, commander of an air defense division, revealed Sunday that while Putin made his victory rounds in the reconquered Russian region on May 20th, his helicopter was caught in the middle of an aerial barrage from Kiev, state news agency TASS reported. Imagine that. I mean, can you imagine you on your victory tour, and you about to get blasted right out the sky, and you about to get blasted by the people that said that they were ready for peace and signed a peace treaty. So therefore there is no peace. All right, and Trump is upset, and he's trying to figure out why. But see, Trump don't even know. I just found out that there's a high chance that Trump didn't even know. Now, of course, he's gonna fucking know. There's a high chance he didn't even know. Why? Because Trump is a goddamn puppet, man. All right, there's the puppet masters are behind this, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers. These are the people running the show. A lot of the things that take place, Trump don't even find out until somebody is like, okay, cool, he can find out about it now. You know what I'm saying? So, and when you realize that Trump almost got assassinated, and then, although we all know, we could all tell that there was a stand down from the Secret Service, no news has come about it, right? So he can't even get the truth about who was trying to smoke him, because we knew that was an inside job. So it tells you that Trump has really no power. He only does what he's allowed to do, basically. All right. And anytime he gets out of hand, he might get that Kennedy treatment in broad daylight. That's kind of what it was. It's like, you're going to get this Kennedy. We're going to let you know, hey, if you really don't want to listen to us, we're going to show you that we can get to your ass. All right. So, but the main thing, like I said, is there was an attempted assassination on Vladimir Putin. So he's probably very, very paranoid right now, and the angels are definitely probably definitely in his ears, letting him know, in his dreams or whatever, that, hey man, this is gonna go down. You eventually gonna have to go to war against the United States, whether you like it, believe it or not. Now this is Revelation 20:7, and it says, "And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan will be loosed out of his prison." The Satan right here is talking about the Edomites, because the Edomites are the physical representation or physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan. All right, so the Edomites will be released in around the year 1300, during the Renaissance, right? Because they kind of fell off around the what was it, 300? Yeah, and then if you add 1,000 years to that, it puts you at 1300. All right, that's when you had the Renaissance, and so basically when they took the stage, back into the world, and they took over Roman Catholicism. They took over the church and walked their way up into royalties. All right, such as Great Britain and so on, and Spain. Now, all the way up till today, right? The scripture says, verse 8, "And shall go to deceive the nations." All right, so Edom, Esau, also known as Satan on the earth, will go to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth. Gog and Magog, which Gog and Magog is Russia, to gather them together to battle. All right, so although you may hear that the United States, Babylon the Great, wants peace with the Russians, and they don't, you need to understand that the true powers that be behind Babylon the Great are actually making moves to deceive all the nations to actually have a third world war. All right, the plan for the Rothschilds is for the third world war to take place. Well, Babylon the Great, aka the United States, to go against Russia, using primarily Iran and Israel just to kick off this third world war. And then the elites believe and would like for all these nations to blow each other away. And while the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers are hiding hiding under their bunkers, underground bunkers, they actually believe that when they resurface, the majority of the planet will be devastated, and they can restart and have a rebirth of a new society, which will be, built, which, it will be built in their mind. That's what they're thinking, which will be built using AI and robotics with a lot less humans on the earth. That's the plan of the Rothschilds, right? And having the rest of the people that have survived be microchipped. Now, we know the Lord is going to disappoint those enterprises. He's going to have Babylon the Great get blown out. He's going to have the state of Israel, current state of Israel, be blown out. He's going to have a lot of these European nations get partially blown out. And then, Yahushua is going to show up, basically, and it's going to be the takeover of the nation of Israel. All right. So this is, I'm going to read again. Revelation 27, it says, "And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea." All right. So now let's go to the nations that are being deceived into the third world war. This is Joel chapter 3, verse 9 in the NLT, and it states, "Say to the nations far and wide, get ready for war. Call out your best warriors. Let all your fighting men advance for the attack." And one of the best warriors, at least head warrior, is Putin. We don't see that guy. I would be shocked if Putin is not some way, shape, or form involved into this Third World War. He's always been around. Even when he wasn't a president, he kind of purposely decided to step down and be the prime minister to kind of, hide for a little bit and see things from a different perspective. And then he popped back up as the president. So they got a mafia going on over there, man. So I know he's definitely shook to a certain extent. He's a tough guy, but when you're in a plane, you can't beat up people. You just got to hope that, the pilots and all that, you got to hope that God is with you. And clearly, the Most High is making sure that these nations, especially the ones that are going to have a big say-so in the Third World War, the Lord is making sure that these people are protected, these particular individuals. All right. Verse 10, it says, hammer your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Train even your weaklings to be warriors. All right. Train even the weaklings to be warriors. Now, when you read in the KJV, it talks about let the weak say I'm strong, which, it really goes into ultimately the fact that these nations have nuclear weapons. So they're boastful about that. And also not just nuclear weapons. They also have their military has also progressed over the past 80 to 100 years. All right. It says, come quickly, all you nations everywhere, gather together in the valley, and now, O Lord, call out your warriors. All right, so Esau believes that he's in charge, deceiving the nations into this Third World War, but the Lord is ultimately in charge. But then the lowest level, lowest frequency on the planet Earth are the people that actually believe that, the way politics is, it's really something that's not controlled. All right. It's something somebody that would look at Donald Trump and really believe that he's the most powerful person on the earth. Somebody that would look at Vladimir Putin and really believe he's the most powerful or one of the most powerful, but it's not true. All right. It's all staged at a very, very, very high level. Now, this is Revelation chapter 16 and 12. It says, and the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the waters thereof was dried up, and the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. All right, so the kings of the east are being prepared for battle. All right, and all these peace agreements and these peace treaties, they're not gonna take place, and even if they do, they're gonna be temporary, and they're gonna be broken, because the X factor, the variable in this Third World War is the state of Israel. And the spirit that's on the state of Israel and the so-called Jews in the land of Israel is a spirit of conquering. It's a spirit of really going in and committing genocide and doing all kinds of stuff, knowing that they got the backup of the United States, of Babylon the Great, and the beast, and which is NATO. All right, so Israel is going to continue to ramp up their aggression, which is beautiful because that's going to force the United States to hop into that Third World War. All right, so anytime now you can hear something where, some stuff. At any time we could just wake up and you hear Israel just, drop bombs on Iran or some shit in the capital of Iran. Like, Israel is super reckless right now, but that's according to the scriptures. They're supposed to be that way. And then, and once you hear that Israel did something to Iran to that extent, understand that it will be a retaliation, immediate retaliation, and then we going in. All right. But prior to that, we understand the MOTB needs to be established. Societies have to collapse. All right. You're not going to have a Third World War and then the people are still able to shop and chill out, enjoy themselves, because nobody is going to vote for a Third World War. It would not be voted upon. All right. The nations are going to go to the Third World War without asking the people, because the people are going to be too busy surviving, in a cannibalistic environment, basically. All right. So let's conclude with Habakkuk, the second chapter. And it says, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am approved, when I am reproved. And the Lord Yahweh Bashim shall answer me and say, write the vision and make it plain under tables, upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. All right, we're the ones that are running. We're running to acquire, to receive the kingdom at the hand of Yahweh Shah, our Savior and Deliverer. All right, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, right? Though it feels like it's taking forever, because it does feel like it's taking forever. Now, is it taking forever? No, because everything is happening in its due time. But because we are in this flesh and we have expectations, it's always going to feel like it's taking forever. All right? It says, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it would not tarry. All right? So we just got to continue to wait for it, and we got to continue to stay on the watchtower, man, and watch what's going on. So, that's the lesson for the day. Prophecy. So be watchful of what's going on, man. So with that, I'm going to say, Ka'al Halayim La Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Ba'ashem V'chakudash, giving double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone and Shalom and salutation. To all you sensei, I came across the four winds. Shalom.